With your permission, just observe a few seconds of silence in memory of our late colleague, Ernest Gyakye, because he was very much affected with me.
Yes, permission granted.
Thank you, Chairman.
Shall we rise to observe 1 minute? So rest in perfect peace. Amen.
Thank you, Chairman. To respond to your question about myself, obviously my name is James Gyakye Quayson, Member of Parliament from Asin North, a second-term member now. I was born in Asin Fosu. My hometown is Asin Breku. I have additional 7 siblings, 4 brothers, including myself, and 4 sisters. My big sister, the eldest of the family, is sitting right behind me. I attended preparatory school at Penwet Preparatory School that was located in Accra. After that, went to Fantipim Secondary School. When I completed Fantipim Secondary School, I did 3 years at Winneba Teachers College. Thereafter, I went to Canada in 1979. I pursued college education in Canada. First, I took up to nuclear engineering for a 3-year program. After graduation, I taught as a lab assistant, teaching supply. From there, I went to Masters in Urban and Community Development. I came back, worked with the Canadian government at the municipal level for 29 years. At the last position was, I was a district manager for area offices of 5. Finally decided I want to come home and help my community as in North, and also to join hands with my people here to develop the country in Ghana. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. We shall proceed with vetting by asking you questions, and we humbly urge upon you to provide answers to the questions posed to you. Starting from the subject matter committee members, I will proceed to give the floor to Nana Addo Kenneth. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to, first of all, congratulate the nominee for this appointment and to wish him well. I would first want to find out from him how he's going to help his minister, since the minister has talked about economic diplomacy. How is he going to help him minister promote Ghana's economic interests abroad and attract foreign investments for the country?
Thank you, Chairman. It's a very important question. Ghana, as we all know, has been champion of Black Africa, a sector that has a minister, and Minister Blackwell and I have very good relationship dating back from 2021, and I'm very sure that we will be able to forge together a good understanding and working relation in line with the policy of the various departments under our ministry. Thank you.
Any further question?
Yes. You did indicate that you're a Pan-Africanist. Would you share with this nation how that passion would drive you to help build a borderless Africa?
Its people, because we all know united stronger than individual small nations. And the funding the fundamental basis of our foreign affairs policy is dated back from when we had independence, when Kwame Nkrumah, our first president, Dr. Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah, indicated that the independence of Ghana was meaningless unless it's linked up to the total liberation of the continent. I still believe strongly in that principle. And I think with that, we can be able to put together our resources, be a mighty force for global trade and relationship. Thank you.
Any further question? Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The last one that I want to find out from the nominee is that looking at the current challenges within the sub-region, how are you going to support your minister to engage ECOWAS to look out for Ghana's interests as well as solve some of the challenges within our sub-region? Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. You see, our sub-regions are all brothers and sisters. This is something that has been put in Mali. We are no different from one another. And so, and I'm very sure that Ghana has always remained aligned. We have always, from independent time, been a non-aligned movement, which Nkrumah had been very much strengthened and forward with India when they forged this non-aligned movement. Let's extend that to our brothers and sisters. There may be differences in the household in their various countries, but that shouldn't set us apart. We should continue with diplomacy. Also be able to identify the people behind these conflicts, where the weapons are coming from, and how we can improve the quality of life of our people. Our youth needs help, and this applies to almost every corner of Africa. Thank you.
Thank you. Once again, congratulate you. Mr. Chairman, I want to premise my question on a release from the ministry, allegations on issuance of Ghanaian passport to foreigners. Deputy Minister nominee, there are a lot of weaknesses within our embassies. Delay of passports, extortion, poor working condition, passport frauds, all these are weaknesses within our embassies. As a Deputy Minister nominee, how are you going to work with your minister to ensure that some of these weaknesses within the embassies will be dealt with? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'm very happy that Honorable Member is asking this question because it's in the minds of many people. There's a policy in place. I just had my briefing at the ministry a couple of days ago. There's policies in place, and I'm sure some has been demonstrated by introducing this new passports with a chip embedded, which is not easy to forge. You need a primary identification in order to be able to process one of those. So I'll work along with my sector minister, and then we can be on the same page to work to make things much better for, again, we have to enforce we have to do some enforcement to make sure. See, all these rules and regulations are in place, but if we don't apply enforcement, we're not going to get anywhere. So that is one area that I'm going to add my strength to the ministry to make sure that we don't take enforcement for granted. Thank you.
Any further question?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The nominee, your experience, having lived in Canada for so many years. I mean, Canada, US have a lot of things in common. And quite recently, Ghana is having a bit of challenge between the diplomatic relations between Ghana and US, which has even resulted in some diplomatic engagement. Having known you, your experience traveling afar and all this on, how do you blend your experience to support your minister to deal with some of these challenges that we are having with our U.S.-Ghana relations?
Thank you, Chairman. I believe most of these bilateral relationships, Ghana and the U.S. had a common understanding of a 5-year visa, that if an American citizen was coming here, he would get 5-year duration of a visa and vice versa. Unfortunately, as we all know, there's been some nationalistic administration with Trump's presidency, which is affecting a lot of issues. And I personally believe that with some diplomacy, because this has not been anything official presented to the government of Ghana as yet. So we are just going to have to apply and intensify our diplomacy to make sure that we're able to reciprocate this. And of course, if things are not working in our favor, we also have other tools we can work with. So I want to assure you that to make sure some of these things are addressed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I once again want to congratulate you and also admonish that, I mean, your composure and your temperament would be a good blend to your minister, so that at least the ministry will have some very cool atmosphere around the ministry. I would want to congratulate you once again and wish you well. The committee would also be willing and ready to help you perform. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman, and I want to thank my colleague here.
I will give the floor to Honorable Seydu. Cletus.
Dapla, yes, Vice Chairman, Foreign Affairs Committee. My senior brother, Uncle Quayson, congratulations. Except, I want to hold the fort since you veered into the political arena of Mother Ghana. I know you've gone through a Herculean task in this career. I have been very close to you and I've interacted with you. I know you are going into the ministry to support your boss to deliver the mandate of Ghana's foreign policy. And I have no doubt that if you get the blessings of this committee, you will deliver. You will give that support to the Honorable Ablakwa. The two of you, I know you can gel very well. So for me, it's just to say that God will on Ghana's foreign mission policy.
Thank you, Chairman. Thanks for your comment.
I will then give the floor to Honorable Van der Poy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Let me also add my voice to thanking His Excellency for nominating you. And you and I have worked together in many ways and in many activities. So I know what you can do. We demand on our national agenda in that ministry. One question. I want you to take the opportunity to assure this committee of your readiness and your support to the minister to ensure that he delivers the agenda of moving Ghana's image to the highest level. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, my good friend. I recognize that as well, and I want to thank the President, Mahama, for his nomination of myself. I know that this is a ministry that is a pivotal to the country's development. So with my experience and exposure, again, we are going to line up a lot of stakeholders, I can assure you, at least in Canada and US, to bring in resources, technology, IT, as much as we can to improve our economy so that our youth can get some gainful employment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Oliplim Akurugu, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Congratulations, Uncle, as I affectionately call you when I meet you in the chamber. You are going to work with a minister who is old enough to be your son. How are you going to cope with him? Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I know Africa has a very extreme culture where children listen to their parents. So I'm hoping, and I'm sure and I'm certain that Minister Blakwa and I, as I said earlier, have a relationship that dates back since 2021. And we are going to continue with our relationship and make sure, because you see, when he succeeds, I succeed. So we're going to succeed together. Thank you.
Any further question?
Thank you. Yes, please. I'm told, or I've heard, that other countries, including Nigeria, our neighboring country, anytime they apply for visas in foreign embassies and they are not accepted, the monies are refunded. How is Ghana going to adopt this as well? Thank you.
Yes, I think this is an administrative policy, again, a sector policy that we have to look into, because I personally believe that most of these so-called advanced countries are milking our people. On an average, most African youth, because of lack of opportunities, want to travel outside. A visa is not cheap. Even just the application form alone is about $160, which could be a month. Are collecting this money and denying almost 90% to 95% of them. We have some of these countries are using that as a revenue to support their embassies. And if we don't know that, we think that, oh, they're rich countries, so they're able to afford to set up embassies. That's not the case. Most of the revenues are coming to make sure any policy that we put together will be something that can be of interest. Because you see, foreign policy is not about protecting the foreign or the foreign nations only. First and foremost, it should be protecting us. It should be reciprocated. Our domestic policy is what we extend to the foreign policy. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, no further questions. I wish you all the best, Uncle.
Thank you very much. It's now the turn of Honorable Omar. You have the floor.
Old soldier, congratulations. I'm so happy for you today. And ever since your nomination was announced, haven't stood your grounds, and also a trailblazer for the Bintus. And to this position, you become ambassador, you become a trailblazer, and you will become the conduit for others in the diaspora to come back home and serve their nation, having acquired a lot of knowledge and experience that this country needs. My question to you today, and we're going to have some discussion. Will you consider, I know you are not the main minister, to outsource your visa processing to third party so that we won't have a lot of backlog, particularly in the diaspora? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. If I want to understand my colleague clearly, it's about visa applications for Ghanaians in the diaspora coming back home. Thank you. You see, that is why I think about 3 years ago, we tabled not the visa applications, but we did table, if I recall, refresh my memory, that dual citizenship amendment bill. This is something that we have to take very important as a nation, because we look at our GDP and remittances from the diaspora alone. Those are the three leading income GDP for the nation. And to just look at that, the experience, and add it to what we already have home, we'll be doing ourselves disservice. A lot of nations have recognized that. Even the UK does that. But here we are, and I'm sure all of you are testimony to what I went through, just to be part of the system, to try to pave a way for others to come. I know I have a lot of followers, support from the House, even my brothers and sisters on the other side, who will reach out to me personally to encourage me. Even though it wasn't a party policy, they came out in their own for us to bow or stand at least for a moment for our brother who has left us. You see, nobody should be going through such things. So I'll kindly come back to the House. One of these days we have the Professor Asari, popular and all, make sure that our children, our grandchildren can come back and bring the expertise and the income and the resources. And I personally know a lot of my counterparts who are heavily invested, but just afraid to leave everything and come, because if they come, they've lost their investments. If they know they can have both ways, they'll bring this investment. Not everyone is coming for politics. There are investors out there, there are scientists, there are IT experts, professors, and all of them. So, answer to your question is, my brother, I'll work tirelessly along with my minister to see how best, and also with the House, to see how we can pass this dual amendment bill. That will eradicate the challenges they have. But in the meantime, before that goes into effect, I'll work with Minister Blackwell to make sure that we can facilitate a quick process.
Let's go to policy. Foreign policy. Are we still non-aligned?
Well, Ghana has always been aligned. From foundation, from our Independence Day, thanks to our great visionary, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah Sajifo, when we got independence, he was championing an aligned movement. You see, when he puts a country in a line, you are more stable, because policies and systems and ideologies keep changing with population growth and challenges in managing communities all the same. So to be non-aligned is the best, I think, and so Ghana answer is we're still non-aligned for what I know. But also I'll work with Minister Blackwell to make sure that that is the direction of the government that we are. Of course, I cannot part from government policies, but if there's a need for me to advocate, I will do so. Thank you.
Comrade and old soldier, I wish you the best. Congratulations.
Thank you, my brother. Chairman.
Yes, Honorable.
Congratulations, my very, very, very good friend and senior brother. We're all proud of you. It's not a question, but to bring your mind to some of the issues that our foreign service officers go through. I advise that you take a very close look at that. There's an issue in one of the neighboring countries. I don't want to mention it, very, very sensitive before us, that I'll be discussing with you. You need to support your minister, look at the affairs of our foreign service officers. They go through a lot. Some of them life-threatening, and we must look at it. Secondly, if I heard you right, I stand to be corrected. Are you, in a way, saying that we should make things flexible for nationals, African Americans, and non-Ghanaians to acquire citizenship of Ghana and to bring into this country the investment that we require? I just want to be clear on that before I ask my question.
Thank you, Chairman. When I made that comment or statement, I was referring at this point to nationals. Thank you.
Well, that's very clear because I chair the subsidiary legislation committee, African Americans who want to acquire Ghanaian citizenship, and it's increased. The proposal is between $10,000 to $25,000, and you must also show proof that you are coming into the country to invest not less than $250,000. So those are some of the things that we'll be considering on Monday at the committee. That's why friends in the house behind you to support my good friend and Okujetu Ablakwa. But don't be tweeting at 2 a.m. on oral stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much, Honorable Patrick Yaboma. I give the floor.
Thank you, Chairman. My brother, congratulations.
Thank you, my sister.
Your appointment is well deserved. What I recall about you is when we were at a sing-off and then the rain was pouring down so heavy, and he did. You are a fighter, you fought. I think I had the courage, but I don't have your type of courage. But I know where it is coming from. Continue to have that courage. You are going to be the Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs, and the one you are going to deputize is someone who is so open, very open. He says it as it is. And I also saw that in you, even before you won the Asim-North supposed by-election that we came for. So I know you are going to be able to work. What will you do specifically to support your minister? I just want one thing. I don't want more than two. Just one. One thing you will do to support your minister, because you have seen it all, to ensure that our people who are being deported, especially from the US, they are supported by our own persons there, especially the embassies, so that they come back home safely and that they are properly communicated to understand that, look, after all, if you travel to another man's land and it's...
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, my sister. It's a very brilliant question. This is something that that we are alien to how it works. Knowledge and strength that I can support it to Minister Ablakwa to make sure that we put certain institutions in place. Sometimes it's not just the embassy alone we need. We need a support system attached to these embassies so that some of our nationals who are out there can go there for support. You see, most embassies are closed after certain hours. You have individuals who are out there, sometimes can't even stay in their own homes because they are afraid they'll be arrested and deported. Nobody wants to travel and just be taken by surprise to be brought home, unprepared. Some of them don't even own a bank account for that matter because they're afraid that where's the identification to open a bank account? You're working under the table, they call it there, which means it's not documented employment, and then you keep. So there's a lot of work we need to do in such areas, especially the major hotspots like New York, Toronto, challenges that some of our people are going through down in those major communities and cities and countries. So my sister, be rest assured that I think the president, in his wisdom, made a good choice adding me to this sector so that we can make it grow and make Ghana a better place. If we improve our country here, most of those youth out there will not even find their way out. They would rather come home and work for us. Thank you.
My second question, Chairman, to the nominee is, if you observe the issue of those who actually travel and go and get either even some of them killed in, mostly their youth. A few times I have watched some documentaries, they are boys, very strong ones. Except maybe one or two at a time you may see a girl. Most of them are our energetic youth. Will you ensure that you lace hand in hand with the support and agreement of your minister to talk to our embassies across, not even to the Western world, our own African continent, the countries that they cross, so that these people are given the opportunity where you will meet them, talk with them, and encourage them to rather go back. You get them so that you could talk, come together, and you, with your experience, you would help in ensuring that they are given that communication to come back rather than pursue what they are doing. Because even recently, we've heard of people being taken to nowhere but just Abidjan. What are the things that you, will you do that to make sure that you support us to get our youth to stay back? Just a yes or no answer, will you do that?
Thank you, Chairman. I will offer yes or no answer. I think what I will add to is that we should beef up our communication here in the country as well. We will liaison with the Ministry of Communication to feature some of these things so that the youth would understand. Because you see, when you're destined that you heard about a QNet and all that, they take them out there, they find a way to extort the little money they have, and then they leave them stranded. So yes, we would have to collaborate with the various embassies to make sure. And what I'm saying about communication is also because if we don't step up the communication, except when they are in a very extreme hardship before they will seek, but then we should be able to have some counselors attached to our various embassies who can counsel this youth to let them explain such challenges that some of this youth will go through. And you are right, my sister. I read about these things in the Sahel Desert, winter. By the time they crossed the snow, it was winter time. A couple of them, their legs had to be amputated. How would you travel to just go lose your, physical being? So we will work along those lines with Minister, and then I'm hoping that the youth will understand better now. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Last but not the least question, the issue of passports. The acquiring of passports by most Ghanaians is still a difficult one. I'm not talking of cost. I'm talking of process. Today, because we all talk digitalization, we tend to forget that some of us are BBC, born before computers, and most of it, let alone to apply for a passport. But we have that problem. And that notwithstanding, the whole of the Upper East will have to travel to Tamale before you get a passport. What will you do to ensure that there is decentralization of passport offices?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I think my sister has hit the nail on the head. Thankfully, I was at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs 2 days in a row to get some briefings, and I was informed that they are opening passport application centers almost the mandate is to get it in every region. And in fact, some areas, some large populated regions, they may get 2 or 3 outlets. So I can assure you that given, you know, it's a new process that they have entered. Now we have I believe 2 to 3 weeks, passports are ready to be issued. The challenge they said they were having is about delivery because of the way our address system is. And not challenge, but they are working on it to make sure that almost every region should have an outlet. They should have a passport application center, and they are also going to improve on the courier system. And I'll work with Minister Blackwell at the same time to make sure that we are in this together and encourage it, because that should be the order of the day. Nobody should be traveling all the way from, say, Posiga to Kumasi or to Tamale for a passport. The risk that is involved, we all know the rate of road accidents, so it's all part of...
All the best, more grease to your elbows, and work harder, because we'll be coming around and sending people to you. I have refused to give you my mantra because you will not work hard. So thank you, and I wish you the best.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, my sister. Save that for future day, and I'm sure I will impress you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, my very best friend in Parliament is a very well composed person. He knows I don't joke with him. It's just that we are in the line of duty, so I'll be very nice to him. I said I'll be very nice to me. Listen, you're always looking for trouble. I commend you highly for this nomination. I just want to ask you a few questions. The first one is that you're aware the embassy has been closed in Washington, and it was opened and the people were asked to come back home. So all the staff who came back home, we are told, are still at home. Were you briefed yesterday on this, and do you know if the ministry has any plans to have them go back to any new postings, and how soon the ministry intends to do that?
Thank you, Chairman. I would say I didn't get a detailed briefing on that, but I'll take a cue from what you've just said, and will be on my list of inquiry to make sure that the policy direction is followed, and we will put things in order. Thank you.
Thank you. My second question, I don't have a follow-up on the first. My second question is that I see you're very opinionated on the issue, the prosecutor of dual citizenship, or the prophet of leading the charge. The president released a list of ambassadors. One of them that I know is a very solid person, but he's a South Korean, and I think he's Ghanaian. And I've also followed what happens in South Korea. It looks like you would have to know more a South Korean. In fact, you cannot say you are no more a South Korean. That's what I've studied or learned. What would you advise on such a scenario? Is there anything you are thinking of to advise your minister and perhaps the president?
Thank you. In regard to the question you just posed, Mr. Chairman, I think it requires a little bit more understanding of the process that it took to arrive at that decision. And I think it's an executive decision. As I have always said, my position, as you said earlier, and many of us, alluding to the fact that I don't even recognize I speak differently, but if that's what he's saying, I don't know how long Kofi Annan was out there, out of Ghana. Maybe he was a full-blown ass, and I think, you know, at it. So you deal with what is available to you, right? So, you know, you deal with your white counterparts, your Caribbean counterparts, and so I came back, and now I can speak Twi in idioms because it came just like that. It was in my subconscious mind. So when I started my campaign, I was having challenges a bit. But then even my community were encouraging me to speak English. Even sometimes they didn't understand what I was saying. But, you know, now I can speak full-play Twi, Fanti, you know, so my brother, Chairman, my brother here, at a later time, we will engage and then we will speak common language together. Thank you.
Very well. Do you have more to go?
Yes, Chair. I want to find out from you your very independent view on LGBTQ+.
My independent view, as a true African, I'm not in favor of LGBTQ. You see, I was in Canada when LGBTQ was liberalized. I was one of the people who was against it in my community. So answer to the question is that I would never support LGBTQ for cultural reasons, for religious reasons, and for the sanity of our own nation. Thank you.
Thank you. My last question. I just want to find out, Chairman is asking me what my views are. Chairman, I'm not in that chair, but if you want to know, I'm a typical girl boy. I don't know where you get straight. Hello. My uncle is here, don't trap me. Chair, I just want to find out from my very good friend whether or not the 24-hour policy has anything to do with the Foreign Affairs Ministry. Are you doing anything with 24-hour policy, if you know? And if you know, what are those initiatives or actions or plans that the government of the day, and specifically the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, is embarking on with reference to your 24-hour policy?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm not privy to any policy at the Foreign Affairs in regards to 24-hour policy, employment policy, but for what I know is that the Foreign Affairs is always, it's almost the pivotal sector for the country. So we have also a mandate to try to attract and work with investors who are coming in. And it should be in line with the government's policies. So, as I said earlier, if I'm looking to collaborate with Minister Ablakwa to see how we can get some project into the country, that will foster 24-hour economy. I think it should be in line, you know, because then the industries, factories, even other businesses that will come in will be able to be part of this 24-hour economy, because then we will have maybe 2 or 3 shifts of work from foreign, the 24-hour. We're all in this together. Thank you.
Chairman, that's my final question. So you are, yes, but this is a follow-up. So you are not in a position to confirm or otherwise whether the ministry was consulted in the broader consideration of the 24-hour policy design?
Thank you, Chairman. I think answer to that is at this point in time, I'm not. I will learn as we get to the sector. If you give me the nod, and I get the, as you the leader indicated earlier, we're very good friends, and we can always speak even outside the normal frame of arrangement of talk with the House. I can furnish any information that is available. Thank you.
Chair, thank you very much. I want to wish my very good friend very well, and I am praying that he has the support of this committee. He's so much on my heart. He's a very good man.
I think the committee is likely to take unanimous decision. Jerry Ahmed, we are taking unanimous decision.
Chairman, you don't have my leaders, so and I can't jump. It's just my personal view of my friend.
To give the floor
Thank
to
you.
Deputy Ranking, Honorable Patricia Piaget.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, for this opportunity, and my brother. Honorable Quayson, I'd like to congratulate you for this. I've been looking at your CV. The area where you had to study at John Brown College of Applied Arts and Technology. I was actually wondering, the discipline you undertook in that particular instrumentation and nuclear engineering diploma. Would you mind telling us a little bit of what it entails?
Yes. If you look back to my resume, the time was sometime in '84 when I graduated in that. As a young man, fast track. When I was at Infantswim, I took to the O levels, both science and arts. So when I went in as a young man, obviously there was that initial cultural shock. My whole intent was to study and get work and earn a living. I never thought I would be able to integrate into the culture. But once I graduated, you know, sometimes they say destiny is not what you control. I graduated that program in '84, and then there was just in '83, there was a nuclear accident. It's Ukraine. Canada also suffered its own minor nuclear reactor accident in Pickering, which is a suburb of Toronto where I was living. The arrangement was that the nuclear agency had a contract with George Brown College of Applied Arts and Technology where they will recruit the students right after graduation. They take you to their site. You are given facility to live. You're paid. And just at '83, this whole dream was shattered. So then our recruitment didn't come on. And the lab, the professor was so kind to me that he offered me, I was a TA at the time, he offered me a lab technician to work along with him to train the incoming into social sciences. So this is the journey of my life. Why I didn't work with that is...
A follow-up, Mr. Chair. Are you aware that currently in Ghana is pursuing the opportunity to establish a nuclear energy facility in the country for the use of power and energy? Are you aware of that fact? Yes,
Mr. Chairman, thank you. I've heard about the the talk or discussion on that subject, but I haven't gone deep into it.
And would you recommend, because you know there is a general perception that nuclear power is dangerous, but at the same time, it's one of the safest means and cheapest means of electricity supply and the promotion of industries. Would you recommend? And if you have, I don't know if you still follow it up, which country would you recommend to promote this agenda for the country Ghana? Thank you.
As it stands right now, Ms. Chairman, I think my sister has a very intelligent question. But I think globally, most countries that I know are shying away from nuclear energy at this point because of we are all looking at green energy now. So I think that I'm not going to totally, if I'm ever consulted, totally deviate from advising them, but comparatively, I think solar energy will be even more appropriate for a country like Ghana because we got abundant sun, 12 hours of sunlight, and I think that will be even the cheapest way of getting our energy sources. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Having been in that institution, that's a second follow-up. In that field, I was expecting you to rather educate people because we have various usage. Anyway, but I think you really explained your limitation as an initial exploratory. So I'll grant you that one. Thank you very much. And I'll go on to my next observation. You went to Fansipim Secondary School, Ghana. At the time you finished your education, what certification were you given? Because I have here with me high school diploma. At that time, were they offering high school diploma or GCE and O level? I mean, I don't know. I need that kind of clarification. Would you seek the leave of the chair to correct it if you have to do so? Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I think my putting together as the thought is today to bring awareness or understanding, because most of the panel may not even know what GCO level is. Diploma is what is offered these days. So we alluded to that. But I stand corrected that there was a GCO level. Thank you.
I asked if you would seek the leave of the chair to correct that information because it's very much required. This is a house of record.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, I would like to seek a leave to make a correction on that. Thank you.
Leave granted at request.
Thank you very much, Honorable. On the same educational background, Penworth, is it a preparation school or a preparatory school? Preparation or preparatory? Penworth. Penworth School, the primary school that you attended. Was it a
preparatory school, which means I did 6 years, grade 1 to 6. Thank you, Miss.
So please, would you, as we are asking the leave of the chair, to correct that one too. Thank you. Would you?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a...
Leave consequentially granted.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have also observed in your employment history that you were engaged as a policy analyst. And may I please get education on that and how we can relate that to our local governance system. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The policy analyst at the city level of Toronto, Employment and Social Services, this is a department where you analyze the budget. Budget specialist, we have engineers of a community. And also sometimes it's for maintenance of the community. So unlike here, we don't, unfortunately, maybe we're still growing our economy to a point where everything, as you members or we all know, they call on you, the MP or the DCE. Here, the institutions actually work. So this is where we are able to sit down and allocate within the municipal the office itself what amount should go to city engineer, what amount should go to infrastructure, community. All budget is where, this is where most of the advocacy happens. So as an analyst, you work along with them. They'll bring their, I guess, proposals, or not a sector per se, but vehicles, procurement, and all that. So this is where that direction is. Thank you.
Right, Honorable Chair, I'd like to follow up on that. Honorable nominee, are you aware that in preparing our budget, especially the one pertaining to your constituency, what is the constituency name? Asin North. There's always a preparatory aspect of it where you engage the community, where the planning officers within your district are supposed to engage the community for you. Have you ever engaged yourself that way? Because you are an asset. What you did in the city of Toronto could be transferred to your constituency. You are an asset. Are you not in the know, or you've never had the opportunity to transfer that kind of institutional memory to your constituency?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have not had the opportunity, but I know that I'm a member of the Assembly, and so we'll be pursuing that. Again, I don't want to go back to my experience of the last 4 years, because it wasn't a smooth as recent times. So yes, I think we will also be able to guide the district engineers and in preparing their budget and those things to see how best we can. Because unfortunately, you see, the money card, you know, your budget is allocated to you, I mean, in entirety, so you can pick and choose and make your own plan in the communities. So I'll take that advice as well and try to engage them a little bit more to see how best we can organize a better planning for them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable, I'm looking at strengthening diaspora engagement. The Ghanaian diaspora, estimated at over 3 million globally, contributes significantly, according to the Bank of Ghana figures. Even in 2023, they contributed to about 4.3 billion by way of remittances. However, there's such limited consular challenges and barriers to diaspora investment, and this persists continuously. Going into be the deputy for the Foreign Affairs Ministry, how will you enhance diaspora engagement or support your minister to enhance in sectors like agriculture, and technology. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I think the sector, as I spoke, had a meeting with the sector, a part already where they have created under his own watch what they call delivery section or bureau, you may want to call it, that is going to be more working directly with the embassies to improve what my sister, honorable leader, just said, that I think it's been brought to the attention similarly what you just described. So this is more or less a personal, they are accountable to the minister per se. This new bureau, which is the delivery bureau, is accountable to them. They are going to measure the performances of some of this as an oversight to make sure they address the issues and concerns of the aspirants who are seeking help in those embassies and consular generals. Thank you.
Nominee, my next question is, are you aware that Ghana maintains, you correct me, but if yes, are you aware? Then I'll come up with my follow-up question.
Thank you, Chair. I'm very aware that Ghana is towing the non-aligned move. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Therefore, balancing relationships with the global powers like the United States, China, and the European Union. Recent discussions such as the US-China rivalry over critical minerals in Africa place Ghana in a very delicate position. Given its significant bauxite and lithium deposits, how will you support your minister to ensure Ghana's foreign policy remains independent while maximizing benefits from partnerships with these powers, particularly in securing favorable trade and investment agreements? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I think, again, my honorable member has asked a very important question. There's a policy that, executive policy that should align with, decide what you think is very appropriate for you to do. It has to be in line with the manifesto and government's agenda. It's a collaboration of so many executive and sector decisions that has to go into place. Technocrats and all that has to be on board. So, as I said earlier, we are non-aligned, and we should not be seen as leaning to one side more than the other, because circumstances can always change, you know, and then you find yourself boxed into something you can't get out. So my response to your question is that I'll follow keenly the directives of the ministry as collaborated with the executive, and make sure that I give my maximum effort for achieving what will not put our country in jeopardy. This is first and foremost, Ghana comes first. As President Trump would say, America comes first. He should also know that we also have a country, so we also come first. Thank you.
Thank you. On climate issues, climate change and environmental diplomacy, it really poses a significant challenge to Ghana, including coastal erosion, threatens livelihoods and food security. So it's an issue that we should be looking at carefully. Ghana has committed to the Paris Agreement and seeks international support for climate adaptation. As a deputy, and I know your work is quite broad, what strategies would you support your minister to pursue to position Ghana as a leader in environmental diplomacy, secure climate finance, and ensure that international partnerships address Ghana's specific climate vulnerabilities? Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. I think green energy is the way to go. Ghana is hydro, electricity, whether it's transportation, you know, we should be seen as towing that direction. And with that, I'm sure then they should be more than comfortable to invest, because climate change does not only affect the existing community, or we might say, well, Adan is having flooding and all that, but it affects everybody. It affects our food chain. It affects diseases, whatever comes, you know, the wind has no limit where to blow. And so we all know when some pandemics or whatever happens here, it happens everywhere. So we have to be seen as working towards that. If you're looking for investor support in certain areas, you have to be seen as doing the same, or at least showing the example. You can't be importing in diesel buses when you say you want to tow climate change. At some point, we may not even be driving diesel Land Cruisers anymore. We should be seen as augmenting and changing our life practices that will reflect climate change for our future generation. And so by that means, investors will look at it that we are serious, affects them all the same. Yeah, we have to be mindful that the West or the investors just don't invest simply for the sake of the love for the country. They invest because they're getting something out of it. And I always make example to my free. There's nothing free. We go out there and we cut tapes and do fanfare, but for the next 50 years, we're buying parts from the country that donated the buses, and we're creating employment for them, while we are here just consuming. It is in that direction to support my minister. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable. But my last question, and that is, you mentioned that your role in your span of work that you have to undertake, and most of the time, it takes you out of the country. Do you think address the issues that is facing your ministry at this point in time? Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Important question again. And I can assure her that given the limited amount of ministers, we intend to honor that. And for that reason, I think he's put a lot of consideration into his appointees to see them. And I can assure you, I'm relentless, and I'm a globe trotter. So traveling is nothing to me at all. I'm used to it, so I can handle it. And I think Minister Blackwell and myself should be able to handle the sector effectively. Thank you.
Finally, Honorable, I wish you well, but I would like to find out something very critical. As a Ghanaian, I always meet you on the corridors, hoping to speak Fanti with you, but I never get it. Do you speak Fanti?
Thank you, and thank you, Chairman. Mpocho Mtefanti. And I'm a country super. Thank you.
I wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Honorable Zurela, I'm going to permit you to ask one and only one question as a friend of the committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Thank you for your magnanimity. Congratulations once again, my brother. Yapume.
Mpocho Boko.
Yeah. Chairman, before I ask my question, I just want us to look at page 2 of the nominees' CV. But I on page 2 in your 1971, Winneba Teachers College, Ghana, General Education.
Please, when you speak the Fanti, then you speak English so that we can, the hands that can capture it.
All right, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Teachers College, General Education, Teaching, Diploma, 1971. I happen to have grown up in Winneba, and I want to assume that I grew up on the same campus. And I think I know that it was called Advanced Teachers Training College, Winneba. They had both the North and the South campuses. The North campus was the Specialist Training College. So I want to know whether this was the same place where you had your teacher education. Take leave of the chair and amend it accordingly.
Thank you, Chair. I will request amendment. Thank you.
Leave granted. Go ahead.
So thank you very much. My one question.
Hold on. Leader has drawn my attention, so let's give him the opportunity. You're on the floor, leader.
Yeah. Honorable Zuera, Chair, thank you for the opportunity. I wasn't born early enough, so I would want this clarification from you. Since we are all from Winneba, if I heard you correctly, you said we had Advanced Teacher Training College, and then the college was in the South Campus, and Specialist Training College was North Campus. Yeah, well, I was born in 78, and I came to meet it, and I attended Specialist Training College Preparedness Demonstration School, and after the Advanced Teacher Training College Demonstration School. I grew up knowing the two institutions to be separate, distinct, in their together. We had National Academy of Music, which was also an independent institution, and brought all three, STC, NAM, and ATTC. Then STC became North Campus, ATTC became South Campus. I just wanted clarification from you for the records. Was it that in your time, these two institutions were under one principal? Because when I was growing up, I knew that STC had its own principal, and then ATTC had its own principal, and the North and South campuses came by as a result of the establishment of the University College of Education, Winneba, then. So I just want clarification because you were before me, so that.
Thank you very much, Leader. Indeed, I was before you, a completely separate institution. They had the two advanced specialist training colleges. The ATTC provide general teacher training colleges where the special college provides special in custom designed disciplines like sports, catering, and I mean, that was special. but ATTC provided general training. At the time I was, and then we had, of course, the Music Academy. At the time I was there, Mr. Yanni was the principal of, indeed, Mr. Yanni's son, Joel, who is the head of the oncology department at Kolebu, was my classmate in Winneba. So they were separate. The nominee would have been at ATTC.
As North and South. Okay, that's what I wanted you to clarify.
All right. Oh, no, it wasn't known as North and South.
Your request still stands granted. So go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman. I have one question, nominee. Ghana's foreign policy currently is standing in the middle of a lot of global and regional difficulties. We can worry about the Russia-Ukraine crisis. We have the challenges in the Sahel. We have the Israel-Gaza difficulties that has really put our foreign policy and diplomacy to test. But when we zero in home at ECOWAS and the current situation of ECOWAS, do you think that ECOWAS currently, as it stands, can stand the test of taking care of the security of our region? And is there anything that you will work with your minister, together with your minister, to do in order to strengthen Ghana's leadership at ECOWAS and to enable ECOWAS work closely with the Sahel countries to see whether there's a possibility of getting back on the democratic track and having a harmonious ECOWAS as we had before? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, my dear sister. I think we had is initiated by Pan-Africanism as well as non-aligned. In regards to ECOWAS and the regional tension, you've seen that Ghana has taken the role of, regardless of the Sahel breaking away, Ghana has taken initiative to still maintain dialogue and diplomacy with these regions. Because you see, if you want to solve a problem, you try to make friends. You don't just fight, you know, because you cannot. We are neighbors to these countries. We share cultural values. We share even relationships. Some people are in Ghana who are related to others in Burkina. So we have to be very, very strategic in relationship with them. I've seen the Mahama administration, President Mahama administration, already demonstrating some kind of regional or at least bilateral relations. Deputy, I will tour along with the executive direction as well as the Minister Blackwa's onward look, and we work together to make sure that I've always said I'm a Pan-Africanist, and I wish, I personally even wish someday to come we will not have any boundaries in our countries, and try to abolish this colonial mentality about, you know, being different people from different planets. We are here together, and we have a common goal. The West don't see an African, they call you African, but we are inside Africa dividing ourselves. So this is a problem. This is some of the principles and values I have that I'm going to support my minister together, and I also know that he's also a strong advocate for Pan-Africanists, and we're going to work together and try to reach out with, and Mr. President is also a very open-minded person that we can always engage, and I'm sure he has his own thoughts and reasons why he put me alongside with Minister Blakwa. So we're going to work together to make sure that we don't fume the situation in our borders, but rather, and then give ECOWAS time to realign their relationship with the rest. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Congratulations. Wishing you all the best.
Thank you very much. Honorable Shaibu, you have the floor now.
Public service has always been one of the unattractive places to work. Indeed, most people sacrifice given the in and outs of court and the rest of that. And as a Pan-Africanist, do you have any regrets that you opted to come and serve your nation and you went through such? And if so, why? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. No word of a regret at all, to answer it bluntly. But I want to assure you that sometimes we all engage in a line of work that we don't even know why we are involved. During my challenging times, of course, I did ask myself many times, why am I doing this? But there was no answer to it. They said, if you don't do it, who's going to do it? Especially when I came home and I saw the condition of life of my people. It touched my heart. And I think you work in life. There's nothing like, I always say to people, my heart to me more than millions. I've grown among family members, I've grown around family friends, wealthy people, filthy wealthy. I have to say I grew up as a privileged child, looking at the life of other people. But I always remember my mom and dad were sharing to the community. And maybe it affected me. So despite all the years I spent out there, I came back to see what I can contribute. Mainly political, maneuvering, but I don't take it personally. At the end of the day, it's over. I have to look forward and fulfill the vision I came to town with. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Thank you.
On that note, I wish you very well in your new career.
Thank you very much, Honorable. I will now be granting the floor to the minority leader, and then hopefully, in the absence of the chairman, I will conclude and bring the curtain to a close. So, Honorable Minority Leader, you have the floor.
Honorable colleague, we on this side of the House, the minority, acknowledge your nomination as Deputy Foreign Minister, Regional Integration. Of course, recognizing your parliamentary service for Ascent North and extensive Canadian experience. Your nomination comes at a critical period of Ghana's diplomacy. It's marked by the recent to realign complex geopolitical issues, climate change, evolving economic partnerships. Without doubt, as a deputy minister, should you go through the North, should you get a nod, you will serve under a minister who operates under presidential direction. Your role demands supporting ministerial leadership in implementing Ghana's foreign policy, whilst bringing international perspective to diplomacy and its challenges. However, I note from your CV that your background is in social services. preparation for international relations, and it's also in all of its sophistications. My focus this afternoon will be to assess your readiness to support your minister, dramatic challenges that we face. In proceeding, I mean no disrespect to you when it comes to questions I'm going to ask you. I would want you to relax, be easy. You and I know that we share a spirit decor. And we've been together. Bear with me. First, I've gone through your CV, and you have mentioned Professor Gyakye and Mr. Tachu Chikata as your referees. How long have you known each of them?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I assume from the question that the Honorable Minority, yes, Mr. Tachu Chikata, surprisingly to some people, may have known Tachu Chikata from when we were at Infantsby. When I went to Form 1 secondary school at Infantsby, he was in lower 6. So we've known each other for a long time. His sister, Tachu's sister, was married to my cousin, Gyakye. Gyakye Lepidis, who is also passed away. And then Professor Kwakye, I've also known him over 10 years. We've been working hand in hand in regards to the Dual Citizenship Amendment Bill, that we seek counsel and communication from one another. Thank you.
Honorable nominee, in every question I will ask, I would, as much as possible, be very specific. In order not for us to spend long hours, try and be specific and bring clarity through brevity. I think that will help. Now, when this committee inquired from them through lawful authority, these two referees of yours had stated from Professor Azar, this is what he says. Professor Kweku Asare, subject character referee, is a 65-year-old and accounting professor who is lecturing at the University of Florida, USA. He confirmed he has known subject since 2020 and described him as calm, dedicated, and ambitious. Mr. Tachu Chikata, subject second character referee, is a 74-year-old and a senior lawyer at Fuga & Company, Ridge, Accra. He confirmed he's known the subject since 2020 as his lawyer and described him as dedicated, humble, and hardworking. So I just want you to briefly clarify from what they are saying and what you've just said.
Thank you, Chair. I think responses from the referees.
Do you think they were responded in context? Do you think they were responded in context?
I suggest so.
Very well. Let's make progress then. A best set to confirm that details.
You mean original birth certificate, Mr. Chair?
A birth set?
No, I don't have a birth set. I have a passport.
Passport is issued based on some original documents or primary documents. The passport itself is a secondary document in my view. How did you acquire your passport? What details did you provide in terms of documentary proof of your age?
I do have the document, but I was responding to the readiness of it. But if I have to provide it, yes, I'll be able to provide it.
So you have a birth cert?
Yes, I do.
Oh, very well. Now, you lived abroad and came to your people. What's the inspiration?
Thank you again. I think I sort of hinted that reason or the cause of it, but for the sake of minority leaders' question, what inspired me most, I would say, and I think this question was asked of me sometime in 2023, was my mom, and also late Professor Mill. My mom is also late. They both had influenced my thoughts. That it's always best to come and give your support to your home country, your community. Mind you, my mom was a queen mother in her community prior to her passing. And so when she last visited me in Canada, just before she was leaving to come home, this was back in May 2008. She had a private conversation. She said, people are going through a lot of challenges. Life is not easy. Professor Mills, on the other hand, was visiting Canada all the same.
Oh, life was not easy.
Yes.
Never mind.
For the people in the community.
Your community, very
Yes.
well. So share with us some specific impacts you've made. We would look at 3. 1, social services, specifically. What specific impacts have you made in terms of social services?
At that time, I had to engage with my communities. I would say, under my leadership, we had a huge deficit of electricity, lighting, not electricity supply itself, but the community was almost 80% dark. And I know what that means. I had brought, and some, of course, I did get from Parliament. Almost 2,500 street lights went throughout the city.
You mean from the government?
Not all from the government.
You said from Parliament.
I said some came from Parliament or the government, yes.
I mean, what is given to MPs
Exactly.
is from the government. The ministry writes to us that they've made these available.
Correct.
So I just wanted you to clarify that.
Okay, so periodically we get some street light supplies from the government through the ministry. So I had 2 distributions of such kind, 200 apiece at a time, which was about 400. But the bulk of it, about 2,000, I brought it in myself. That's when
Labor. Infrastructure. Let's go to infrastructure.
Infrastructure, I have rehabilitated at least not less than about 6 schools. I've built about 2 schools. You also have to understand that I was doing all this under very much duress.
Don't worry.
Challenges.
Just,
so, and it wasn't easy for me, but I tried the best I can. So
the renovations.
Excuse
me. The renovations.
Renovations.
The renovations of 6. Don't worry.
Yes.
The 6 schools you renovated. Did you have to rely on your common fund to do the renovation, or you had to take your hand into your pocket to do that?
It's halfway, because the common funds was not sufficient.
Certainly.
I had to chip in, yes.
That's fine. What about the 2 schools you built? Was it also common fund and your personal earnings?
The two schools are lobbying for and friends to put up those two schools.
Was it solely family and friends, or that one to common fund was supported the building of the
Some
schools?
of the materials, yes, got some
Where,
support.
which communities are these two schools?
There's one school in a community called Zambori, and then no, there's another school called.
Now, in terms of individual empowerment to individuals, particularly women, have you something to share?
Thank you. Yes, I engage in vocational training for women.
How many have benefited so far in terms of sewing machines or hair dryers?
Over 200.
How about the male youth?
The male youth, I engage some of them into basic skills like helping them with their driver's license, because a lot of them were illegally driving or even using them. Yeah.
Very well. Now, I went to your community. Something struck me, and I've shared this with you privately.
Yes.
But I also think that, and forgive me anyway, don't be too offended. I was there to campaign for my candidate, or our candidate. Obviously, there was competition. And the various communities we visited, it wasn't about you. They say, this equation, this equation, this equation. So I was eager to find out why the man is not a DC, or was DC before. Then they said, oh, his dad, many years ago, what he did. This is something that struck me, and it made a positive impact on me, that whatever I'm also doing in Winneba, I should remember someday people saying these nice things about me when I'm dead and gone to my kids, that, oh, your dad, your dad, your dad. How would you say daddy's records have helped your political career?
Thank you, Chair. I think Minority Chair is right on point. Dad was a very effective politician. He was the first appointed district commissioner in Kwame Nkrumah's administration. At the time, Asin was just one district. And Asin South, North, and Central, as we see today, was one district. So all the initial developments in that area was under his watch and his hands. He built secondary schools, he built training colleges, he recruited the police, set up police posts.
Fosu,
yes.
Immigration College?
No, the Immigration College was not, he was part of it. At the time, he was a civilian, but he was appointed a board member and a district assembly. But so I would say he was also part influence.
Okay, now you are in government. Fosu has an immigration training school. You are in government.
Correct.
Do you hope to leverage all these contributions by Daddy and the community elders to get your people their fair share when it comes to recruitment? Do you hope to leverage on that?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Absolutely. Not even just immigration alone. I want to leverage on a lot of the forces, because that will give this youth a secure future, whether it's police, immigration, fire service, prisons. But most importantly, as you said, this has never really happened, because even though the school is in that community, I can guarantee that.
Very well. You are 74 or 2.
2.
Should they expect?
Minority Leader,
Yes, Uncle.
I'll be lobbying that leadership.
Chair, this is your committee. You can have your liberty, and I'll come back after.
Denied.
Thank you, sir.
You know, Uncle Kweku doesn't throw low blows, but if he decides to throw one, he throws it well. Very well. So you must be aware that your style of retail politics, because of social media, our youth are so anxious to connect with leadership. How do you hope to fill that gap? Foreign Minister, Deputy Foreign Minister, a lot of travel.
Thank you. I think, you see, my style of administration has been such that I believe in outsourcing, not saying even outsourcing, but delegating. I do a lot of delegation to people.
So you will delegate?
I will delegate
Very
a lot
well.
of it. Thank
Very
you.
well. Now, let's look at your area. And I'm just on social services and community development rather than international relations or formal diplomatic training. Given the complex demand, as I've already said, you will effectively be supporting your minister without compromising Ghana's position in high-stakes international engagement. How do you hope to navigate this new area of multilateral negotiation, treaty framework, and diplomatic protocols? This is not your area.
That I have held before. It will be very interesting for you to know that for over 12 years I was engaged with African newcomers in Canada for almost 12 good years. Even in between when I was a retainer lawyer. During that period, Ontario didn't have a policy of giving legal illegal immigrants. I offered myself with the agency that I belong to, call it CANAT. CANAT simply means Canadian African Newcomers Association. I led them to migration hearings, made sure they were able to present their cases.
So, Honorable Nominee, from what you are saying, that you will leverage on experience to enable you to achieve so, correct?
That's absolutely correct.
Very well. What specific diplomatic training, now that you are not there, in terms of international knowledge, foreign service expertise, do you hope to acquire as you get on the job? Can you share with us your readiness to get some training, or your readiness to pursue rigorously some proper understanding?
Thank you. I believe in most learning on the job. As we all know, most of us here as legislators, we came from different walks of lives, but here we are legislating and making rules. My experience, my exposure, I can assure you, Honorable Leader, that I got about 12 directors who came on the board. Was always interested in current affairs, in foreign policies and foreign happenings, whether it's Iran, whether it's Ukraine, Russian war. I can give you a whole analysis of the Soviet Union. I have lived through the aspect of international politics. So
Very well.
I'm very much confident. Thank you.
Honorable member and nominee, I'm not going to be personal here, but I am situated, can navigate. You are Christian, correct?
Correct.
You know, in Christianity, some Christian churches forbid alcohol. Others do not. My church, for instance, I'm a Catholic. Catholics are not against alcohol. But it doesn't mean that you should be a drunkard as a Catholic. Your Christianity that you practice, is alcohol forbidden?
You mean my religion?
First, you answered you were a Christian.
Yes.
Yes, so I mean, some Christian churches, like the Charismatics, the Pentecostals, they say no to alcohol completely. I don't. We are a drunkard. I want to know from you, your Christian group.
I think I'm also a Methodist Christian, and
you take wine
and our rules is the same.
Asking. Are you mindful of such a practice in diplomatic circles?
I think, Mr. Chair, thank you again. If you want to know my personality, I don't endure in alcohol in public places. So where there's 2 or more people together, I'll never take alcohol. Thank you.
So therefore, you go for a diplomatic engagement and you are toasting when you are supposed to share a toast and the champagne comes. The country should know that our deputy minister will use water to toast because there are 2 or more people, correct?
Absolutely. So toasting, you don't have to necessarily indulge in it. You can just raise it as a sign and drop it. And
you will not taste.
Absolutely.
You will not empty your glass.
I will not even sip it.
Very well. That noted. But you are aware that oftentimes it is at that period that a lot of information get out, although you've taken an oath of secrecy, and that becomes a problem for a lot of diplomats. You know about that.
Thank you. Yes, I'm very much aware of that. And I think this day and age, a lot of people will acknowledge you and associate with you all the same, even if you are not participating. And I think they should also understand my maturity, that I've experienced this long enough not to make it an important habit in my life. So I can still remain on the sideline, and even, I think that's the best position you can take, is not to be part of it, and so you can extract more information for your own good. Thank you.
Honorable nominee, one of my, so just to guide you, this is the second time I'm saying this. Well, while you may be thinking about this issue of legal experience, I would want to ask you some few questions for you to share some views on it. You see, you may be having legal challenges regarding citizenship and electoral eligibility, which concluded with your acquittal and discharge. This experience provided you with first-hand exposure to complex international law principles and citizenship issues. Apply the insight you gain from navigating these legal processes to support your minister in addressing similar citizenship and consular challenges that Ghanaians face abroad.
Thank you. I think I did it underlining policy or direction I wanted to take in regards to the dual citizenship, and I also shared with the panel here that brothers and sisters outside in the diaspora have immense resources, knowledge, and experience, and the academics to bring here to help us build our nation, added to what we already have here. Ghanaians have a volume of exposure to add it on to make negotiating with the outside world a lot easier and getting business done. So my input here will be supporting my minister in forging some diplomacy, some bilateral engagement, and make sure we will be helping the executive in the same direction, taking into consideration that if I get a nod, to be able to foster such inputs. Thank you.
So, in other words, if I should say, it's going to help you in terms of how you assist your minister in policy formulation in that area of dual citizenship and solving people's problems, correct?
That is correct. Thank you.
You mentioned Professor Asari, and you've stated him as your referee. I'm sure we should be seeing...
In fact, last parliament it was tabled. I'm sure minority leader, you were very much aware of it.
Yeah, everything went with the 8th parliament. So are you ready to initiate that process again?
Thank you. Yes, and I will seek your counsel and support to initiate this amendment, because it's going to help our country. Thank you.
Yes, so should we expect your government to support this initiative at least by end of year?
I'm very convinced that my government, current government, will support it. I even believe the previous government was in support of that as well. Thank you.
Now let's look at strategic positioning of Ghana vis-a-vis its relationship with the great powers. There seems to be a wind of unilateralism blowing among some great powers, and countries like Ghana seem to be very much hope that a country like Ghana that is going to be affected by this new some economic empowerment, provide social services for its people.
Thank you. I think Ghana has all along laid the foundation for such eventualities. Due to our non-aligned policy. You see, I shared earlier that if you commit yourself to a specific direction, then you can be caught with your hands down. Ghana from independence has been a non-aligned and also a strong pro-African, and with our vision and with our national policy, international policy, foreign affairs policy, I think Ghana still stands the ground that we will not. I am very convinced that those who want to do business with us, but not to interfere with our internal affairs, and we should be able to endure any challenges that comes along, adding value to our raw materials. We get into those things, give the youth a purpose of life, and in Americans right now, I could see it's just, I'm always of the adage that no condition is permanent. And so one way or the other, it's just this Trump administration that has initiated this whole thing, which other countries are responding, and trying to be, and so with time, I think things will be able to line up. But this also cautions us to make sure that...
You make a very striking, which I agree with. Now, what are the systemic weaknesses? The structures, we have to do this, we have to do that. We have to empower the youth. We have to be independent. What are the weaknesses that you find?
Thank you. To be honest with you, Mr. Chair, the weaknesses I find is, unfortunately, our partisan attitude. We should find a better way to build this country together. We should not go after one another's party just for the sake of being a member of a party. This is something that, and if I think it's almost as though if we have to find a way to, the person doing the researching, of course, is generating from your own senses, right? So if you are not, if you are always doing things thinking that I'm going to discredit this government because I'm not part of the party, you know, it's affecting everybody. So, and we need to also develop some national agenda. But I've seen in my own community, constituent when I came, they was able to identify about 5 projects that were abandoned. Projects that have reached almost 60% completion, 40% completion. Resources went in. But for the sake of change of administration, they rather will go build a new one. But at the end of the day, it goes to the same people. And this is one of my frustrations that I'm finding very difficult to understand. But I know as time goes, we are a young democracy, so sometimes I say, well, maybe we are too hard on ourselves, but you know, we have a lot around us to learn from. When those democracies were going on, they didn't have anywhere to look at for an example. Here we have it. So why are we not using that opportunity and throwing punches at each other? That's all my prayers, that one day own enemies. There's no external enemy. The enemy is within us. And we need to wake up. Because if I get rich and my neighbor is poor, what is the value? We live here, and everybody's house is walled. When I first came about 10 years ago, I wanted to build a house. I told my contractor, I don't need a wall. I said, why? I've never lived, even when I was growing up in our house in Cape Coast and Asenfosu, there was no fence walls. I live in Canada till 2020, there were no fence walls. I'm sure most of you have traveled there. Here, when you're building a house, the first thing you build is a wall. Because even the materials you put there, they're going to steal it. Why? Because you don't have, if you have a meaningful work to do, are you going to waste your time and go to somebody's house and lift a shovel or lift some electricity cables? No. I don't want to get much into that, Honorable Member. But the answer to your question is that I'll be able to assist in that direction. Thank you.
Before I go on, you said you lived in Canada to 2020. Now, I know you give up your citizenship. Currently, when you go into Canada, do you go take visa from the High Commission or you have a residence permit?
Absolutely. I'm on a visa.
Very well. So let's go back to that important matter that you raised. Do you think that as political leaders, we have a lot of work to do to change the attitude of our youth, including ourselves?
Thank you. I think we have the onerous responsibility to change. You see, our youth are looking at us. They look at what I will say to you and you will say to me. So when it's handed down, they're just going to practice the same. So if we change our attitude, I'm very positive the youth and the rest of the nation will look at it differently. Now, I don't want to be seen as someone who is antagonistic or who is trying to be divisive. You embrace people as who they are and work with them. Political parties, of course, they have the agenda to win elections and form governments. But the opposition, there's always going to be one party at the opposition. Job is to direct and steer the ruling government, not to pull it down. Because if you have 58% of the population in support of you and 42 is against, are you running only 58% of the population? No, we're running the entire country. So I applaud President Mohammed's initiative that, at least he's setting the tone. He's setting the tone that this country belongs to all of us, not some of us. And if that is what we have been dealing with in the last 20 years, Ghana would have been somewhere already. But it's not too late. Let's move and support the initiatives that is coming. When previous administration had a free SHS, it affects. We don't select people to give them opportunities. Thank you.
Honorable nominee, from 5 years to 3 months, have you any view on this to share?
Thank you. I don't have the full details of, but what I know is that some Ghanaians were in the US and they put the number around 21,000. I asked that question, was it for a short period or a prolonged period, who overstayed their time and did not abide by the rules of the immigration IRS. So for that reason, we fall into a category where even though we were reciprocating 5 years on both ends, it happened that because of that, they have restricted the Ghanaians to 3 months. Now, it's not official. There's no official documentation. So we receive official documentation, we cannot respond. So this is where the position of that is now. Thank you.
Let's talk about our sub-region.
Nominee, please keep your answers short.
Thank you.
You and Honorable Leader are sitting between us and lunch. Thank you.
Honorable Regional Security and our role in ECOWAS. Our region see political instability and all of these threaten our regional development. You are going as a deputy minister. You've shared with us your years of experience in social service. How do you hope to leverage on your years of experience by way of assisting your minister to advance Ghana's security interests while maintaining regional leadership and promoting democratic governance?
Thank you. This is a very critical question and a critical area to deal with. So this response to your question will be policy-driven in support of my minister. Thank you.
Honorable nominee, as part of your job, you will be representing Ghana abroad to woo investors into our country. You have just talked about our own internal challenges. How do you hope to persuade an investor who is adamant to come here largely for the fear of losing his or her investment because of the problems you have already enumerated? For instance, a lot of Ghanaian businesses are often filled with fear when they see a change of government because they may get tagged in one way or the other. And all. How would you confront such a question when an investor asks you this?
Thank you, Chair. I think the investors' confidence in, or to invest within the country is measured by the performance of the economy and what is happening. So if you have laid down the foundation, we have been addressed, they see confidence in the economy, I think will be the main characteristics for them to decide to invest or not to invest. So as a deputy assistant my minister, these are some of the areas we have to expose to the investor about how far or what achievements the economy and the government has come out. And also, I think gaining confidence, law and order, gaining confidence within the administration will be a very helpful factor. So we should be able to get members, investors who are willing to come in and be able to. For some information, I'm working on a few, even myself personally, to try to bring some investors into the country. Thank you.
We are landing now. Social intervention programs. Since Rawlins's time, this country, through its government, we initiate social intervention programs. In your own assessment, do you think some of these intervention programs that are intended to be investment go waste and it becomes a burden on the nation? And what very pragmatic steps do you think should be taken to address these? Because obviously, these investors who have data about Ghana and have read about this will be concerned and would want to know, because this would affect their own investment.
Thank you. Social interventions are necessary for almost every society. But to the extent that it becomes the main source of support for communities or people in the country, is difficult. What we need to do is to show that now we have the youth gaining employment. We have to show it's the same back to what I discussed before, that the economy should be growing. Once the economy is growing, more youth are at work, the demand on social intervention will reduce. And so for that matter, we will be able to divert the resources to a more gainful employment for the young people to be able to take care of themselves. Thank you.
You're going to be the foreign minister representing your country. Lapel pins, brooch for our women, which will have the Ghana flag, or will have our colors. And as for the lapel pin for the men, are you going to be an advocate for this as part of the Cell Ghana?
No doubt, I will. Thank you.
You want to be wearing one yourself?
If it suits my appearance, I'll do that.
In the lapel pin, explain what you mean by if it suits your appearance.
No, you mentioned if I wear lapel pin, right?
Yes, the one with the Ghana flag or coat of arms.
I think it's again a personal discretion, and I will. I'm not.
You're going to
I'm
be
not
the deputy
getting
foreign
your.
minister.
I'm not.
What I'm okay. Let's go back. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Take it easy.
Okay.
Relax. Relax. My first question is: would have our coat of arms and also have our flag, red, gold, green? Would you encourage same as brooch for our ladies?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll wear it. I'll wear.
Is it so? So are you going to encourage it? I want to know from you whether you are going to manifestly promote it. That's what I mean.
I'm not able to give you a precise response to that, but I think it's left to individuals to.
You think it's discretionary?
That's what I think. I think.
Very well.
You know,
I will not pursue. Now, our colors, the national flag, red, gold, green. So, as a deputy foreign minister, you have met the deputy foreign minister for South Korea International Conference. He asked you, Mr. Quayson, I've seen your country's colors, red, gold, green. Each of the colors, it has a black stand for green and a black star. Take your time and explain to this deputy foreign minister who would want to know from you as part of your Cell Ghana initiative.
blood is the red is for the blood of our forefathers.
The gold, one word you say red, gold, green, red, gold, green, red, gold, green, red, gold, green. Yes, gold, red.
Gold stands for gold, as you know. Ghana is enriched with gold, right?
Honorable member for Nungwa, my very good friend. Honorable member for Lejekuku. Hey, Nine Momo is Nungwa. I beg, I don't want to have trouble with her. Please, I've taken back my...
Take him back, yeah.
No, not a question. The Nungwa, because honorable member for... no, Krowo, Nungwa is Krowo, right? So Krowo, which is Nungwa, is for our respected colleague, children and gender. Naimomo, I don't want to have problem with her. I am talking about Lejo Kuku. I'm saying that our colleague is on oath. Please allow him. He is a Pan-Africanist. He says so on record. So please, how about the green?
The forest. The vegetation. I mean, the mental.
No, don't take it easy.
Something I've learned from
What about
preparatory.
the black star,
The
which
black
is in the
star is
middle?
the power of the black people, right? Black star represent blacks, the strength of the black man. Yes.
Okay, let's deal with the coat of arms. The coat of arms. Because you are going to, Deputy Foreign Minister, wait,
Yeah.
you know, that speak. These are things that people would anxiously ask. You know, so the coat of arms, can you tell us all the things that you find on the coat of arms of Ghana? Share with us everything that you find on the coat of arms of Ghana.
I will beg the leave of that question because, as you said, we are very close, so I'll share with you at some moment.
Honorable nominee, this is a public interest question. We'll discuss our personal ones. Very well. Just to conclude, my last question, can you share with us the national pledge? The pledge.
Yes, I can.
Please proceed. Please proceed to share with us the pledge.
You mean to recite it?
Rightly so, sir.
Honorable nominee to the coat of arms and meet leader.
Thank you, Chair. I'm exhausted, so thank you, Chair.
Chairman, that will be all for...
Thank you. Thank you very much. I've missed you ever since we stopped Burton. So I'm sure Ghanaians are happy to see you back. I am just going to conclude. I'm actually not... I'll just ask you one question. And first of all, what I want to say, congratulations. And you and I, we have talked a lot, of course, because we share a similar history of having gone out for many years and coming back home to educated, to go through all that. Most admirably, showing up in this house every day to go to your office when you were prevented constitutionally to go into the chamber. All your sacrifice, your suffering, if I should say, has probably paid off in giving you an opportunity now. You're already serving your country, but to go another notch to give a much better service to your country. We pray for you, and we know that God will guide you to do that job. You are going with the minister, Honorable Ablakwa, a young man. What I'm happy about is that he will be surrounded by you. Your background, your knowledge, your expertise, your experience that you have gathered over the years. And then, of course, with Honorable Van der Poy, who is the chairman of the Foreign Affairs Committee, the two of you around Honorable Ablakwa, I'm sure that will enhance your performance as a ministry at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The one question I want to ask you is that, and I picked that from a a question leader asked you, that we have two types of diplomats. We have what is called a career diplomat, who is someone who's actually been trained as a diplomat. Some have gone to universities to study diplomacy and international relationship and all that. And we have political diplomats who are usually appointed by, president or government to go to a particular country or to be at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to steer the affairs of that government's agenda in promoting trade, that is trade diplomacy, economic trade and all that. Would you agree that these two types of diplomats all have a role to play in the world of diplomacy? Thank you.
I believe they both have the same responsibility, political or non-political. We represent in the country.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nominee. Congratulations. And you will hear friends and family who came here basically to support you. And I have a list here that I'm trying to find to call out the names of the people that. Has the form been given to me? Hold on a second. We'll find it, and then we will get you out of here. Yes, I have found it. So on the list here, forgive me if I miss your name, because I'm reading from the list I have here, and also if I mispronounce your name. So all of you, first of all, are acknowledged for coming here to support the nominee. Nana Kweneji Ampao II, Chief of Asin and Wa. Nana Kobina Asari II, Sanahene of Asin Breku. Then Obahima Atiamwa, Queen Mother of Asin Breku. Obahima Kwanama I, Queen Mother of Asampel. Mr. Isa Muhammad, Zongo Caucus Coordinator, Asin North, and Very Reverend Bensford Kwesi Asa, Superintendent Minister, Methodist Church of Asin Breku. Reverend Nana Akusua Ampofowa is a sister. Mr. Ebon Houghton, oh, Nana is here. High school mate, again in fast swim side. Am I safe? And Dr. William Brownford. Dr. Musa, also a high school mate. Dr. Joseph Richardson, a childhood and family friend. Mr. Leo Enin Nkora, childhood family friend. Mrs. Mary Youngson, Dad Esiedu, my own regional chairman. Comrade Alex Atta, NDC, a branch member in Canada, communication officer. And then we have the DCE here, Sylvester Amachi, Asin North, Chairman Felix Benifo, Constitution, Organizer, Asin North. Thank you very much for coming to support the nominee. You are now officially discharged. Thank you very much. Members, can you wait for a second? And nominee and guest, there's a big space outside. Can you do the photographs out there, please? We need to have a short meeting before we leave.